Hey, welcome all. Well, continuing on, I'm going to remove this stabilizer bar. The stabilizer links are worn out, so those will get replaced. Looks like there's a nut here, there's one here, and one up here, and then identical on the passenger side as well. So this is a 18 millimeter, the big nut on this end. I've put some liquid wrench on it to kind of loosen it up, but I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, she's turning on the back side. It's going to be one of these where you're going to have to hold it with a, I'm going to say Allen wrench, hex key, whatever, here, and then take it loose there. Don't ask me what size star bit this is, because it's a little bit too small for the one that's in there. I got some, and yet all I could find was the ones with the handle. So I suppose you could go like this and just turn until the nut comes off, which not too bad. And this one is still loose in there. I have no idea what size that is, but that's an 11/16 wrench I have on there, which is the same as, what did I say, 18 millimeter. Yeah, you can tell when it's loose now, huh? The new ones, the links for the stabilizer bar will have wrench flats on them, to where I can put a wrench on the side and take it off. Anyway, there's one. I'm going to move over here and get this bolt here and this bolt here. Hopefully 13 millimeter. Moving on to the other side. Well, let's see how this side goes. Alrighty. Okay. Well, that's got that one. Alrighty. And that came down on the other side as well, finally. And out there, so you're not seeing this, but it is coming out. I suppose you can see how that is all worn to pieces. Okay, by getting the stabilizer bar out of here, it gives me a little more working room, plus it lets me see more of what I'm taking loose. And I'll be on my way to getting the harmonic balancer off. There's a line on the cooler that is, well, it's attached. A little press-on clip, or press over the line type clip. And I need to get that off of there. Come on, baby. You can do it. You can do it. There you go. Okay. Not sure what that goes to, but it is definitely secured good on the cooler line. So what I'm going to do next is I got a little 10 millimeter bolt here and another 10 millimeter bolt down here that holds the cooler line to the frame. Okay. Need to find out where that one goes. do believe that is the rubber connection going up to the bottom of the pump. Okay, I'm going to take this clamp loose. It's on the bottom of the power steering pump. And there was a little fluid come out. It's a good thing that I had drained the reservoir prior to this in the first video. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to plug this hose up with a piece of towel, and I'm also going to plug this up with a piece of towel, try and keep what dirt I can out of it. Okay, before I take the oil cooler loins completely out that go to the power steering, it's actually a power steering cooler line, I'm going to try and remove the steering column, not the steering column, but the intermediate steering column. Oh, come on. Putting it everywhere but where I want it. Okay. Anyway, I wanted to mark with some paint where the alignment is for the steering wheel to the steering shaft. Okay, here's the little clamp that needs to be loosened up so I can slide this cover here back up the shaft a little bit. Okay, sliding that up the shaft, that little cover piece back there, it exposed the universal joint that's connected to the steering box. This bolt is 13 millimeter. Okay, here's the bolt. It looks like it had a little sealer on it. You're supposed to use a new bolt on this steering shaft. Okay, I use my ultra long extension to come in by the wheel well and just push that over and off. Now what I want to do is go bungee the steering wheel, make sure that it doesn't get moved from the position it's in, because if you turn it around in a circle, you're going to destroy the internal workings of the clock spring, airbag, you name it. This is just a little rubber strap that I hooked around the steering wheel to kind of keep it aligned. I'm going to take the idler arms loose from the steering knuckle here, and don't know how difficult that one's going to be. I have put some liquid wrench on them. That turns fairly easy. I don't know. Find out in a second. This is a pass-through socket wrench. It's 18 millimeter. I still need to take the lines loose at the steering box, the hydraulic lines from the power steering unit reservoir, and I'll be doing that, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be dripping power steering fluid down, and kind of want to do a few things before that happens. I don't know how difficult this is. If this is going to come loose, if I'm going to have to use a puller on it, I don't know. I've seen people hit. Let's see if this is going to come off of here now. Oh yeah, it's going to go off. Might have trouble putting it back on. Oh, I don't know. Boy, that feels nice and solid. Okay, that side was not too bad. Time to do the other side. I pulled the rotor wheel to the other side. Okay, let's see how bad this one is. 18 millimeter. No, that's pretty loose. It's just not tight. You'd have thought it'd be tighter than that. I'm gonna have to look up the torque on these. You get this nut about flush with this shaft right there. Then when you break it loose or you beat on it with a hammer, whatever, and you won't mess things up as far as threads go in the nut. Now I've got this nothing little hammer. I don't think it's even for automotive, but it will not mess a thread up because it looks like some sort of a fiber. Yep, and it worked very well. Okay. Onward and upward. If you have a stubby wrench, it might be a little easier. Can't seem to find mine at the moment. It's loose. I'll see if I can unscrew it by hand. Well, I've got the line out. I've almost got it completely. Cooler line out. I've just got to weasel around a few things. Okay, the cooler line is free. Now I need to go and plug up a few openings. So up here is a bolt with a nut on the back, and this is one of them that holds the steering shaft, and back over here is another one, and that's 18 millimeter, by the way. These 18 millimeters are about 70 some foot-pounds. Anyway, the procedure here is to take this loose, these loose, drop the cross frame. They'll refer to it as the engine cradle, I guess. Have a couple jack stands handy. You don't want to drop this frame down all the way. You just want to loosen it to enough to where it lowers just a little bit, maybe half an inch, I don't know. Then take the steering shaft bolts out, and what I'm going to do is probably a little out of order. I'm probably going to take the steering shaft bolts out now. I put some liquid wrench on the back of the bolt where the nut is. Let's see what happens here. Ooh, come on. Yeah. Nope. Okay, the nut is turning. I use my pass-through socket. See if I can break it loose. And I believe I did. Let's try this. Almost. What do you think? Well, guess what? There's one bolt. Okay. see that or hear it, but something is loose there. Something is loose. Okay, moving right along. These are 13 millimeter. Let's see what happens when they come out. Well, I didn't bring my screwdriver, but I will say this. This thing is flexible enough. It's a 21 millimeter, I believe. I'm able to get a 13/16 over it using my pass-through Craftsman again, but a deep well 13/16 or 21. I believe it's a 21 millimeter. Yeah, will work. I'm using a 13/16 on these. Just double check it every once in a while. Okay, that is not, that's more like 3/8 of an inch. Probably not enough, I don't know. But I'm going to try it. Okay, moving over to the passenger side rear. Moving on to the passenger side front. That seems to be about the same as the others. And now I'm going to move over to the driver's side front. Driver's side front is loose and same as the others. I'm not seeing much movement in the cross frame. While working on the steering rack, I needed to pry this side of the engine cradle cross frame support down, and I held it with a little tire tool. After I got that pried down a little bit, I was able to take my pry tool, pry up on the back steering rack, or the passenger side steering rack here, and by lowering this as much as I did, this line here was hitting the lines up there, but by lowering this cross member piece, engine cradle part, I was able to actually pry this up and out and move it over this way some. So now I'm moving towards getting it out all the way over here to the come out on the driver's side. I'm just going to have to... Okay, I'm still trying to pull this out, and back behind this shaft here are some brake lines. I mean some ABS lines. You can see them right there. Anyway, I had to weasel shaft around those, and then this is a power steering line that I'd taken off. It's still connected to, I believe, a power steering pump, and I had to weasel around it. I have a plastic bag around it to keep the dirt out. This line here that has been in my way since I started actually connects, and it looks like your standard connector, little clip on the back. Pull that up. Just disconnect it like that. Well, finally, thank you. Now I can hang it down on this side. Okay, moving right along. I now have it out about this far. Okay, it's just about out now. Just about. Okay. Power steering rack is out. I'm going to set it somewhere Just a matter of getting the rest of that out of there, no problem. And I'm going to give it a good cleaning. Okay, that's the end of this video. In my next video, I'll be taking this harmonic balancer off. And if I have time, I will be replacing this, looks like original idler pulley for the air conditioner. This one here looks like it has been replaced. And so, yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing in the next video. There's a better look at her. And to get it off, we'll see what the front cover looks like in the seal. So this is Cars, Trucks, and Detours, coming to you from underneath a 1998 C5 Corvette. Saying thank you all for watching. Hope it wasn't too boring. And see you on the next video. Bye for now.